So the topic is ethnic diversity, and I'm just going to briefly describe what ethnic diversity and how we define it in our group. We decided that ethnic diversity, in the article I described, that it's basically racial diversity. Fortune 500 companies want to be ethnically diverse because it promotes creativity and innovativeness. In order to promote both creativity and innovativeness within ethnic diverse groups, the groups must be heterogeneous and not homogeneous completely.
Heterogeneity, which Mitzi just mentioned, is a type of group that companies or even any sort of small groups that develop have different something. There's a bunch of differences about them. So with that in mind, if we take into consideration, for example, our small groups, we're somewhat different in the sense of our main, like what our focus is, what we are wanting to do, and our minors and some of the courses that we have taken, which has really affected how we approach different challenges and things of that nature. And this entire process allows what's called kaleidoscope thinking to occur, and which is multiple perspectives on an approach for one specific situation, for example.
Touching base on what Mark was talking about with kaleidoscope thinking, as a small group here in this class, we might not be ethnically diverse. However, the ideas that we bring to the table are what makes us a diverse group. Our majors here at the university are different, so our ideas that we have learned from our other classes allow us to bring different perspectives and views of life around us when it comes to the college life and our work in this case. So to give an example, we'll go back to our first group challenge that we had, which was the trivia questions. Like you pointed out, all of us did not know how much we really didn't know until we were asked all these questions. Mark brought to the table the fine arts questions. Then we had Sandra, who had historical knowledge. Then we had me, which I had the music perspective stuff. And then we had Mitzi, who had basically everything else that we didn't understand, because like I said, all our other majors have allowed us to learn knowledge of different things.
So touching back on what Javi said right now about being different, having different perspectives, we believe in our group, we chose each other because we had different specialties that we felt comfortable with, and that has brought new creative thinking to our group. A good example of that would be when we were trying to build the backpack thing. Most of us, like, each of us had our own ideas. We were trying to just build it based on books, and then someone brought out, oh, like a comb will work, and then someone else brought out the little paper like tube that we were doing, and then someone brought the flag, and somehow we just got a tall structure, more like it was taller than it could have been if it was just one of us working together. So that was creative thinking right there. Also in our video, each of us is bringing new things into it, ideas and specialties that will make the video a lot better and a lot funner for all of us. And yeah, choosing different perspectives and specialties will make us a group stronger and simply better.
So with all that in mind, we also have to take into consideration how the same we are. For example, we're all taking the same class, we all have the same goal and the perspective. So that allows us to get along together and work well for the most part. And since we have what we would consider very similar personalities, we are understanding of each other. Now, in comparison to the article in itself, for the first portion of this class, where we got to choose our groups, the next ones we don't, which kind of mimics the article in itself, where they had certain individuals of a certain ethnic group going group A, and then sort them off in group B, and so on and so forth, until they divided it into having majority of 4 groups, 2-3 groups, and then a group of 5. Now, with that in mind, a lot of them, what they were noticing was that when they had similarities, the creativity of it wasn't stellar. but they found that it was easier for the groups to get along and to work towards the same goal. While at the same time, not saying that the heterogeneity groups were any less difficult to get along with, but there wasn't as high of a percentage as there was with the homo. Now, this idea and this construct, while reading it, something that I noticed myself is that I really thought about the course and the construct and how we're going to be placed in different groups very soon. And for the most part, we've all actually interacted with the same people throughout this first half of the semester. On the next portion, we're not 100% sure who we're going to be paired up with, which is a fantastic experience because it'll show us more or less exactly how this article takes place. Because although I may not have similarities with other people that are going to be in my new group, it'll allow for a more creative process to occur as well, similar to this one, but I feel since we didn't select the groups themselves, it'll bring a lot more diversity to the table, which I think is going to be fascinating.